earlier, getting shot all of those times, being locked up and accused for murder under prison. I know God saved me for a reason.
Yeah.
So
hello everyone, I am tevprettyy. Welcome to season 2, episode 2 of Women's Wednesday. I have a special guest for you guys today.
Very happy to be here. I'm Terry, aka the Philosopher. Just excited to see what we have going on. I'm excited to be on the channel. Excited to bring something to the table. Let's have a good time, y'all.
Okay, how you feeling today?
Feeling good.
Before we get to this video, we have to figure out how you feeling. Like, so we have some garlic bread, and then we have some pepperoni pizza, and then we have mozzarella cheese. And did you want regular cheese? I don't know. I didn't know what.
No, that's good. That's good.
Okay. So, yeah, before we get started, we should wash our hands.
How y'all doing today? We met in church. We both share the same church, which is one of the amazing best churches on this planet.
Yes, it is.
New Shallow Christian Center. And we both been members there. We both serve. And that's how we met pretty much in church, you know. And I know she do content, I do content, and it was like, hey, we need to link up, we need to do something, spread some positivity, spread some messages. And she gave me a call like, hey, I'm ready, let's do something.
Yep.
And I'm here.
Before we get started, we gotta learn a little bit about you. So first, I just want you to just talk about kind of your upbringing.
So I was born and raised in Miami, Florida. Shout out to the 305. My upbringing was a little abnormal. Things began to happen as I approached my teenage years, you know, which is like high school, 15, 16 years old. I began to hang out with the wrong crowd. And with me hanging out with the wrong crowd, I took a very sharp turn towards a dark road. In Miami, I know if you know about Miami, it's really easy to do. You know, to take one of those turns, hang with the wrong crowds. You know, and it's one of the same stories. You know, started selling drugs, started selling guns, and once you start that, you know, drinking, smoking marijuana at a young age, you kind of you go down a path that you don't even expect, especially young. There were some family issues that, you know, I would say now, looking back at that time, maybe added to some of the trauma I had. My dad wasn't there. My mom and stepdad, who I looked at as a father, they split up, took my brothers and sisters. I was down there with my mom while she was struggling, and things just went AWOL. I felt like I had to be the man in the house. Unfortunately, I didn't have any positive role models there to say, hey, stay in school, you know, do this, you know, go to college, get a degree. I seen all the dope boys. And the dope boys, you know, they looked at persuasive.
They got cars.
They got the cars, they got the jewelry, they got the golds, they got the, you know, the women around them. And that looked appealing to my 15, I started at 15. That looked appealing to the 15-year-old mind. So I began to engage, and as I engaged, it took me down to super.
Did you have siblings?
Yeah, I got 4. I got 2 brothers and 2 sisters.
And what was the range of it? Like, were you the middle child?
I'm the oldest.
Oldest, okay. So that was hard too, because then you don't have nobody, even the older siblings, to look up to.
Oh, it's super rough.
Yeah.
It put me in a mind state of just not caring. So I began to have that attitude and that mindset, like, I don't give a, you know, it's whatever. You step to me, I'm going to handle it however it need to be handled. And I kind of, you know, went down the hardest path.
So,
yeah, very hard.
So that started at the age 15. Mm-hmm. So what caused you to kind of like change, well, not kind of change your life around, and what made you not want to be in the streets anymore?
First of all, I'm a late bloomer when it comes to that, because I'm 42. I'm 8 years in transition. Okay. So that lifestyle, that lifestyle took me down a very long path. So I'm gonna say this. When your heart becomes frozen, in life you just can't put it out and then I'm frozen in a matter of minutes. So it took time for me to grow, it took time for me to understand, and it took, I would say, miracles from God to be able to show me that there is a different life. Now about 10, 14 years ago, I wanted change, but didn't really know how.
Okay.
You know, if that make any sense. So true reasons how it happened, you know, which was, I guess you could say a miracle, is my plug got messed up. And I didn't have anybody who was, you know, delivering those packages like he was. So that at that point, I'm like, hold on, you know, what I can do from here. Maybe I can start messing with some shirts, and maybe I can start a business. And that's what I did. So after that happened, which it was meant, because if that wouldn't have happened, transition wouldn't have happened at that point. You know, so once that happened with him, that would lead to the steps to getting out of the game completely.
So with you going through the transition and being in transition now, do you ever think about like going to schools or just going to certain areas where young men are and try to talk to them? Or
I want to further expand on that, but I've been doing that though. I've been doing it with the Court Kings. It's another nonprofit organization. I have a nonprofit as well, but the Court Kings is a basketball ministry, but it's Christian. Also, I spoke at a juvenile detention center in Brevard and 2 programs. It was like where kids get out of jail based on conditional releases. You got to do 5 classes, 6 this, and I went to those classes and spoke as well. And here recently, I'm gonna respond to all of the killings that's going on.
Yeah.
And I want to go into, like you were just mentioning, going to the neighborhoods and speak to the youth about that as well.
And leaving the streets, did you have any battles or any challenges after leaving, like PTSD, or not even PTSD, but something that happened to you that made you?
Yeah, I had, it was learning. It was relearning, almost like.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna put these in the oven, y'all. So we're gonna put them in the oven for like 5 minutes just so they can get warm, and then we're gonna bring them out, put it back on there and let it cook for like 10, 15 minutes.
Sounds good. Leaving the game was not easy. Like I was mentioning earlier, when you got that cold heart to de-thaw it takes time. So I was very, 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 very insensitive. I had a lack of care, you know, when it comes to people, regardless. I wasn't friendly. Just very closed off and sheltered within this, you know, mind state of almost loneliness, because you're like, I don't trust nobody. So you kind of shelter yourself into a box that would, like, you don't want to expand, you don't want to meet people, you don't want to do anything. So I had to learn. It was a lot of learning. And I would say some of the initial fights and battles that I had was financial, was like, I can go back to this game, make more money.
Like worth it, like all
right
this,
now, you know. So that was one of the battles that I had, was like staying focused. And another thing that was really strong was not letting nobody take you off your square. Because you know energy, you know spiritual, God, devil. Once you're trying to do good, stuff gonna start coming at you now. So in order to stay on the pivot and stay focused, you got to learn how to fight those demons without that old self. So that was one of the battles for me. It was to ignore, to walk away, to deflect, to not have the same outlook and vision that I used to have. Because if you have that vision, you're ready to engage on any little stupid thing, and that's going to take you off of what you're doing.
The other question I have is about your mental health. Because it seems like you always happy. Like, we be in church, y'all, you be so happy. You know, you just always seem like you're happy. But I know it's days, of course, where you probably in your head a little bit. So how do you deal with your mental health, and how is your mental health?
Mental health is much, much better now. Like I said, I went through some anger, super anger issues when I first was in transition. I went through a process where I had to go get medication for a time. So, and that was rough for me, because I'm a strong dude. You know, I've been through a lot, I've seen a lot, and that's built the toughness on me. So I felt like I could do it myself. Medication got me messed up, you know. Thank God, I was on that medication for about 5 months, 6 months. Let me tell you that story too. I go to a circle of care. I'm like, hey, I need some help, man. I'm coming in here, y'all. I need help. I'm changing my life. I'm about to get into business. At this point, I was like, one foot in, one foot out. I'm still straddling the fence with the game. But I'm like trying. I need some help. Help me out. The first doctor sent me there, he was on some money stuff. Unfortunately, he said so. First thing he did, he said, I'm gonna give you Xanax and Seroquel. Seroquel is a drug I seen in the prison. They get them cats, you like a zombie. They tried to give me that at first. I go up to the front desk, I'm like, but they did. Shout out to Circles of Care again. They did have a wonderful woman at the front counter who heard me out and listened to what I said. I'm like, hey man, I don't like what he's trying to do. I sit there and I come and I say, I'm trying to change my life. I got anger problems. I want to be better. I want to start a business. She's like, I got a doctor for you. He put me on the lowest medicine that they had. It was like a 0.5 or something. I can't remember what it was. Did that for 6 months. Tried to come off of it. I was still aggressive. Got back on it for another 3 months. I was battling. I wanted to get off of it. I wanted to be normal without the dependency.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I got off of that medication. 9 months later, and haven't took it again. Now, as far as mental health goes, I struggle with things, but you gotta look at it. A lot of people say this, because everywhere I go, I'm high-spirited. Job, business, everywhere. And I tell people, if you've been through what I've been through, you've seen what I've seen, I gotta be mad for it. I've came a long way, you know, and I'm not in that lifestyle I was in no more. You know, Miami being shot, prison for crazy charges, jail for crazy charges, to be where I'm at right now, in the place where I'm at. My kids in private school, shout out to New Charlotte again. Kids in private school, you know, bought a house 5 years ago, got married. What do I really have to be mad? You know what I'm saying? So I'm always energetic and blessed on, you know, being safe.
You were speaking about how you did get shot.
When I was like 2002. I was 18. I was 18 when I got shot. And you know, it was a club called Cristal.
In Miami?
Yeah, it was everybody in Miami know Cristal. Chrissy. So we was at a club, my homeboy, shout out to EJ, shout out to Gator, shout out to Piccolo, all of them was performing. And after the show, we went to Denny's. You know how you go out to the club, go to Denny's. Let's go to Denny's. We was politicking. I leave. There was a bunch of girls there. I leave. I go back to the house. Then my homeboys call me. They're like, hey, you know, a couple of these chicks asking for you. You know, now they on the block now. So we went from the club to Denny's to the hood. Okay. So I go back out there. Yeah, gotcha. So I go back out there, and as chilling, I'm on my homeboy P call, which was EJ friend. I met P through EJ. And I'm sitting on this car and I see like a red light shine his truck. I see a red light shine across his truck. By the time I look, it's too late. They had some street sweepers, you know, things that clean up the streets. That had just hit the block. I guess the car seen that, took that opportunity because they was probably watching me, came behind that, stopped right in front of me and opened up. Boom, 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 boom. I had a gun on me. It wasn't one in the head because I'm with these chicks, so I'm slipping. I throw the gun at the car pull off. I don't run too far, and I think that's what saved my life because I got hit twice in the chest. Everything had exit wounds. Twice in the chest, one in the face, 3 times in the arm, and 1 in the foot.
Wow.
Ran around the corner, sat down, waited for the ambulance, which took a long time. I almost died waiting for them. And, you know, God saved me.
So, was it like a setup thing, the girls, or was it just like
No,
the wrong place?
No.
Okay, that's what I heard the girls. I'm like, oh, here you go.
No, they was brand new. These was some, this was some stuff that already happened and was, you know, stirring up, I guess you could say.
That didn't make you want to get leave everything alone, like drama or anything, get shot? No.
I was 100% in at that time.
That's what 3 to 8 times.
No, I got shot. 7 times. So 1 in the face, twice in the chest, 3 in the arm, and 1 in the foot. But you gotta understand, at that point, I had truly married the game. So I had already, I was supposed to win?
Yeah. I just want a spoon with mine, love.
So I had already told myself that that's what it is. Like, I'm gonna die here. You know, I told myself at that point I'll never marry a woman. I'll never.
Dang, because you was in the streets?
Yeah. You know, it was truly, I'm gonna die here. I'm gonna get a game on everything until I go.
So how was your mom? Was she?
She was struggling through a difficult time at one point. she was going through her thing, but when she got clear-minded and she was able to, see her son in that light, of course it was rough.
Yeah, but I'm sure she's proud now because when I saw her at church when you performed with the kids, she just looked so happy. Like
relationship back on par, and she's definitely proud of who I became, who I'm becoming, and who I strive to be. So it's a good thing that I changed my life. Before anything happened to my mom, so she can see and envision and feel that her prayers, that she's a prayer warrior as well, that her prayers came to life.
You have children, you married. Like, what was your first child and when did you get married?
I got married probably 8-9 months ago.
8-9 months ago.
And my first child was when I was 18. Let me tell you a story on that. When I first heard that I had a child, I didn't even believe it. I was going back and forth to Miami, wild and still in the streets. And I went back to Miami. And when I went back to Miami, my mom called me and she's like, hey, one of your children's mama said that you're pregnant, that she's pregnant. I'm like, y'all trying to get me back. She called me back. 4 days later, she said, another one of your children's mama said that she's pregnant too. I'm like, why y'all just trying to get me back? Because it was after I got shot. So I'm like, I know they don't want me down here. They want me to be back in Brevard County. So I didn't believe them at first. And I came back and come to find out, they were pregnant for real. So I was 18.
Are you open with your children about your past? Or is it kind of like, some parents, they act like they had a perfect childhood. They might tell you that they might have had a rough childhood, but they're not as open with their experiences because they don't want to look bad on them.
Nah, very though. Very open.
That's good.
Yeah, very open.
Is it easy to be in a relationship or difficult? Like
it was with me.
Yes, I'm saying like as far as I'm saying how you deal with certain people when they have like a traumatized or traumatic past experience. It's kind of hard to love them, kind of hard to communicate with them.
For sure.
So that's what I'm more of. Like, is it?
It was. I would say for sure. The other half had to learn me, right? Mm-hmm. But usually you got to think both people bring something to the table, right? Yeah. It's this book I read. It's really, really fire. All Tevoneik viewers go pick that up. It's called How to Love, right? Mm-hmm. And what that book does, it's like a dialogue. I should have let you go first. I'm staying.
You good?
It's like a dialogue, and it teaches that both parties are going to come to the table with a different upbringing, right? Yes. We're not the same, right?
Yes.
So we both come to the table and we sit and we have our different baggages, no matter what it may be. Mine may be my trauma. But guess what? Usually that person on the other side of you have something too, right?
Yes.
Because that book teaches you if you wasn't paying enough attention, you're going to have certain character defects. If you were giving too much attention, you're going to have certain character defects. So it's hard, almost impossible for a parent to paint the perfect line and walk directly on it. So usually your upbringing will take you through something that maybe rubs the other character wrong. It's not the same. It doesn't match. So what you have to do in a relationship is you have to be transparent. You have to get out the likes and the dislikes. And you have to find a way to meet that median. And if you want the person or, like the person, love the person enough, you're going to have to do some changing.
Was it easy for you though? Because I know sometimes, even me dealing with like certain men as I date and stuff, if they are in the streets or if they have a traumatic past, they're kind of like nonchalant and it's kind of hard to communicate with them. But on your end, were you?
I was rough.
But were you? But were you paying attention to her? Like, were you trying to make sure you were being good to her, or was it kind of more of like you were learning as you?
Oh, I had to learn. I didn't know nothing. I didn't want to hold hands when we first met.
Oh.
I didn't want to kiss and
it's a small things.
It was like, I had to learn. I had to grow, and coming from that street life to being a real man, head of household, doing the things you're supposed to do, it definitely was a learning experience. It took a lot, and it took her a lot of maybe humility and patience to wait. But I think she's seen potential there and fought for that potential.
It's good when people fight, but sometimes you see potential in people and they don't see it or they don't. It takes forever. Like, how long are you supposed to wait for a person to? I don't know.
That one is, again, that's one of those super fine lines because I wouldn't advise everybody.
Exactly.
Everybody don't do what I did.
Yes, okay.
It won't happen. Some people stuck in their ways, you know. I would say fight and pray though until you get that feeling to it. You just know this is it. Yeah. And the person's supposed to show you even in the mix, right? So I think that happened a lot too. Even in the mix before I really committed to the relationship and I was out messing up, I believe that I still showed that there was love and care there. Like I made this mistake, but I messed with you. I feel like the more cold-hearted, but I don't know, it's still a thin line, but I feel like the more a person really don't care, like no matter what you go through, no matter how much you cry, no matter how much you ain't reciprocating, no feelings like, I'm sorry, I'm sitting down, I'm talking to you, changing for a certain period of time, and it might not be nothing now.
That's what I'm saying, because some people just act like they changing, and sometimes they probably do change, but they go back into their ways, and it's kind of like, dang, when you're changing, like, am I waiting for no reason, or is it, you actually changing, you're just having a hard time changing? But that's why, like, if you know you're a complicated person, or you just balance certain things, at least be open and kind of acknowledge the fact that people are trying to try with you.
All of the women out there.
Yeah, because this really is Women's Wednesday. You my first male guest, too. I forgot to say that. Ooh. You my first male guest, so that's good. But.
So, to the women, sometimes, and this is not an excuse, this is not a pass.
Yeah, you don't need no excuse.
It's not an excuse, it's not a pass. But I want y'all to do understand that us as brothers, we go through a lot, we've been through a lot, and we've held a lot of trauma inside, right? Mental health is just not becoming a thing now.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? Not just that, we are taught to be strong and not show weakness, right? So we have a lot of these things balled up, these things that we've been through, whether it's family issues, whether it's a lifestyle that we live. We have these traumas that's on us too, and we are taught by nature and by culture to suck it up and keep going. You know what I'm saying? Bro, you gotta be strong, bro. What you crying for? Ain't no crying out here. You get what I'm saying? So when you have that kind of skin and you going through that, a lot of times those things you've been through makes you act out in certain ways. Unfortunately, a lot of men, this is all culture, man, a lot of men validate themselves by women, or money.
That's true.
Right? So if a man, in a lot of situations, not all, I'm not speaking of all situations, I can't speak on how every situation goes, but I know some situations, men like attention. So if they've been through something, or they're struggling with confidence, self-esteem,
that's what it really
mental health, any chick go hype them up.
Yes.
So you get that little attention and you don't know how to separate, okay, she looks good, this is attention, but I'm not going to engage when you got somebody. And as a man, it's hard until you figure it out. It's hard to get to that point to have that discipline, to say, hey, that's attention, but I'm not going to engage in that. She's beautiful. That is attention. I like it. It does feel good, but I'm not there.
It's just so crazy how females, we know that off rip. Like, it can be plenty of men, we can be like, oh, he look good, he give me attention, but that's, I don't have to entertain it.
Females are better with it.
Like, it's
and
so
I'm not just
easy.
saying that because it's women win. Hey,
it's
she
so
was right.
It's so
women can do that.
Even when you out and about, like, you can take a compliment, but you gotta do too much. Like say if a man don't know you got a boyfriend or you're in a relationship or whatever, and they compliment you. A girl know how to say, okay, thank you, keep it moving. A man, he gotta, oh, thank you. Then you walking out, you gotta speak to her again. You gotta, It's just like.
And you give a man a compliment when you walking out. Hey, so what you doing?
Yeah,
can I get your number? Can I take it?
So what are the non-profit organizations you have, or you participate in?
So the non-profit we have is Unity Events. We're still in the process of launching that. So with Unity Events, it kind of speaks for itself. It's events. So I wanted to go back to old school, right? I got a bunch of instruments I invested in. I got pianos, drums, guitar, electric bass, saxophone, clarinet, a bunch of instruments. So my vision for Unity Events is stage presence, right? So where the youth can perform various different talents. So spoken word, poems, speeches, songs, dance, positive dance.
Yes.
So positive dance. So that the vision for Unity Events. When I first got Unity Events, I was looking up a lot of things online to see what do you do with a nonprofit. It was like, just don't jump out of there. Go get with another nonprofit, see how they run, and run off, kind of learn off of them. I happen to get with one of the best nonprofits to me in the world. I love basketball, still nice. Right? Still nice, son. Still nice, me. You young cats know I be putting on you sometimes, but I got with Court Kings. They legendary. All around the world. Hot Sauce, one of the most greatest street ball players in the world, has played with, as a matter of fact, the most astounding street ball players in the world that played with Court Kings. They had the Professor, we just brought him to Brevard 2-3 years ago. Hot Sauce played with them for certain seasons. I think we got Jew coming to Brevard this summer. So I got with Court Kings, and it was a very, very, very unfortunate event that happened. Victor Martinez, which is the founder of Court Kings, he lost his brother. And that was a really sad thing when he lost his brother. He needed help around him, people to help him, people to do things. And I came in and, it was that shoulder to lean on and that soldier that they can call and come in the streets with them. Because we in the streets when we do these events. We in the neighborhoods, we in the
That's good. That's why I want it to be. I feel like when people, because nowadays you have to go out to the people that need help. It's kind of like people not really asking for help, or if they is, it's not the person they run into is like church or nothing like that. So that's why I really want when people do nonprofits or anything volunteering. I just want it to be like in schools where people really is, like neighborhoods, like small community centers, just stuff like that. So that's.
We also did things with I Choose Me, Brevard Prevention. 361, which is a shoe company in a different country, but they come over here. So we did a lot of collaborations with some of the bigger, companies and nonprofits in Brevard County.
Before we go, I would like to ask you to tell them about your podcast and TikTok, social medias, because he also speaks on social medias.
Yeah, so my whole vision and transition was to spread the word, right? A lot of y'all know, a lot of people heard, when you live the street life, you know what people tell you? The right thing to do is, when you make a change, get that same energy, put that same energy you put over here, that you put over there. You used to serve the devil, you went hard for him, you were stepping for him. Step like that for the Lord. That's why I got that song, Step. It's on all platforms. But that's kind of what that came from, because I used to step for Satan. I used to step for the devil. Now I'm pushing positive energy in the community as much as I can. I'm in the church and just really trying to make a difference. So I'm utilizing my platforms, pushing those so those grow, and really, really, really getting out and letting people know that you can do something different. And that's kind of the message. I know people that look like me and have been through things like me, they can relate and understand. Because I feel like that's why God saved me. Y'all heard us talking earlier, getting shot all of those times, being locked up and accused for murder, under 17 months in jail, time in prison. I know God saved me for a reason. Yeah. So it's like, I know God didn't save me to say, hey, just get your life together, live this normal life and shut up and chill. No. God saved me to say, hey, the same ones that remind you of you, that's hard-headed, that's evil, that's angry, that's balled up, that got all these emotions, go back and deal with them. Because a lot of people can't deal with them. You are one of the soldiers that can deal with them. So that's the mission, that's the passion, that's the agenda, and that's the journey. And I just want to say, I'm so grateful and thankful for being on the show today. I really appreciate it, really appreciate the opportunity. Gotta bring you on my show.
Yes, we gotta do that. I'm a little nervous. I ain't never been on nobody's podcast, so.
For real?
Yes, and I don't know how the conversation will be. Like, do you have a question for me or anything, a topic you want to speak on before we do go? Like,
sure.
Yeah.
Oh, my girl. Okay. So, what inspires you? Because I hear you talk about mental health, and that's a really, 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 really deep thing to be talking about in this day and age. It's sensitive, but it's very well needed. What is making you and pushing you to speak on those things that's so hard for people to talk about?
Because as for myself, I'm a very sensitive person, emotional person, and that started when I was kind of young, my upbringing as well. Okay. So I kind of always was the one child was always emotional, the one that always wanted to have deep conversations and open conversations. I don't know, I just love having deep conversations, honestly. I have a lot that I experience. I know people experience a lot of things too, and I just feel like why not just speak about it. But the main thing that made me do it on social media is my cousin passing away. At first it was, because sometimes traumatic stuff make you really tap into your gifts and tap into the things that you're supposed to be doing because it motivates you.
That's true. Sorry to hear that too.
Thank you, I appreciate it. So after that happened, I just kind of, because I always cared about mental health, but I didn't know how to talk about it. I was in high school and stuff like that. Like my friends wasn't talking about it, the teachers wasn't talking about it. So I started having like small battles, whether it was anxiety or depression, things like that. So when my cousin passed away, it just added on. So I'm like, at this point, we gotta do something. We gotta talk with people. We gotta just do stuff for myself. So I started counseling. I went back to church. I would maybe go back to church. And then with counseling, I was like, I kind of like talking about mental health. I kind of like having these conversations. So I just brought it to YouTube, and I'm just really open with it. I'm not embarrassed about nothing I've been through. God got me through everything. In 2019, I was suicidal at one point. Not actually harming myself, but the thoughts of suicide. So it just kind of all made sense to let me just use everything I went through to try to help the next person. So.
And you just said it all. That is what it is about. Right. I feel like our purpose is what you just said, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody been through something. I don't care if you got caught or didn't get caught. Everybody been through something that they can heal from or that they can learn from. And it's like you're supposed to go through things to learn because it's life. It's gonna bring you trials and tribulations. It's gonna bring you something that knocks you off. Nobody's perfect like the old Indian 24 hours and it's just perfection. Life is gonna bring you an experience that's going to break you or take you down the road, no matter how far you go. I feel like our purpose is to go through that experience, learn from that experience, recover from that experience, and teach others. Did the counseling that you went through help? Was that super?
So the counseling,
part of the strength?
It's crazy because I was doing counseling and church at the same time, so it kind of felt like it was 2 in 1. Like I would be literally going through stuff and Bishop would talk about it at church, or it was perfect. Like it was very hand in hand. So counseling does help. I just think people should find the right. Let me take some after I was talking. I think people should find the right counselor, therapist, because my counselor was good, but when I left, she let me down.
What conspiracy theories do you believe in? So I got to give you 2. One of the conspiracy theories that I believe in is 9/11.
What do you mean? Like it was?
Yeah, it was set up so late. So
I believe it. But I thought it was.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So that's a conspiracy theory I believe in. Also, I don't know. I'm gonna say this. This is going to be a popular, unpopular statement. Some of y'all like it.
All right.
Some of y'all not. I believe that, and this is in response to a lot of the killing and a lot of stuff that's going on as well. This is in response to that. I feel like my people, African American people, are almost in the game that the higher ups play, right? So let's do this. If you take music nowadays, right? Mm-hmm. If you take a lot of the different communities that's being pushed, I don't have nothing wrong with LBGT. I have nothing wrong with it. I have nothing wrong with anybody wanting to stay in the same, sex. Okay, that's okay. I do have a problem with the agenda being pushed on a specific culture. You don't really see it being pushed on Indians, Asians, and a lot of other cultures being pushed on the black communities. Another thing is that look at the music. Some of that music should be arrested. Like, how can we talk about and glorify killing at this level, right? So I feel like I don't know if it's the government. I don't know if it's higher up people but somebody is allowing this poison to become a trend. I'm smoking on this, and you're talking about another dead person, right? So now you got these youth. Everybody know what fame do. We know from back in the days what fame does. We know the desire for fame. So now you telling these kids, or we didn't push on these kids that if you catch a body and you put that body on a song and people hear about it, bro, you can get famous, bro. So when you have these agendas being pushed in the community, I feel like it makes it hard for our people to rise above. Same thing, one of the things you were talking about earlier with the men and the women on a black community, we definitely pushing from the music to the celebrities that it is okay to not just have multiple women, but have multiple women in a sensible manner now. If you look at social media, if you look at, how these dudes, these women accepting it now. Oh, as long as I'm number one. So what is that telling you? You be seeing that, right?
Yes, everything you
So what's that telling the youth? You get what I'm saying? Hey, bro, get your money and you can have multiple women. They can deal with it. As long as I'm giving her the bigger bag, as long as she getting the bigger piece of the pie, she's gonna deal with these other women.
That's one thing I do agree with though, because nowadays people make it so common or normal to just be in a certain position in relationships. Like say if you're dealing with somebody and just because of who he is, you okay with what he's doing. Like you settling because that's, like you said, everybody's just doing the same thing. So I agree with that, definitely relationships. I definitely agree with the hidden agenda. I always think about it. I'm like, it's no way, like somebody gotta be controlling the internet, somebody gotta be controlling just everything because that's really all you see. I had to stop listening to like killer music. I used to love
Me too. I love
all that. Yeah, we purposely getting like set up to fail or to crash out and stuff. That's sad, but that's how it is, y'all. We gotta just stay prayed up and just try to do the opposite of everybody else. So I thank you for coming. I guess he enjoyed his pizza.
I'm about to actually get another one.
Yeah, you can have both of them.
No, I need to do one more.
Okay, you can do one more.
Hey, boy, you know that,
But yes, I thank you for coming. We definitely gonna do a video for his podcast, his social media. So I will be sure to put your socials in my description box. So like, comment, share, subscribe, guys. And I'm gonna also put his socials for you guys to follow him and support as well.
I appreciate the time. I appreciate the pizza. And I appreciate just the message that we are pushing. And our agenda is the right agenda. It's positive. It's to help. It's to reverse some of the agendas these agendas are already coming at you. And we're trying to reverse those agendas for what we're talking about. So I thank you for what you're doing. I thank you for the subjects that you're on. I appreciate, unfortunate, the experiences that you went through, but how you're handling them. I can appreciate that. So thank you for having me.